Alright, it's your boy MTM and I'm back at you with another boom, 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 banger. You hear me? I'm still a little under the weather, but we finna do a little reaction video right now. We're gonna react to why Kanye never forgave Virgil Abloh. You know what I'm saying? I fucks with my boy Virgil. He a off-white monster. You know what I'm saying? I fucks with the fits and shit. I don't really know the history between Kanye and Virgil, but I do know that they know each other. And apparently, I guess Virgil stole Kanye's dream. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really a Kanye hater like a lot of people are. Some people are Kanye haters out here. I actually respect Kanye and what he did for the black community. You feel me? I feel like he's a very upstanding young man. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not a lot of positive black role models that you can look to. Kanye, I don't think he ever really went to jail like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how let's say like Young Thug or some shit like that. Like he ain't really like sold no drugs or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he probably did it, but he ain't get caught. You know what I'm saying? Like he not in the media. Like his bad press isn't him being a nigga really. It's him like fighting the Jewish community and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? He be doing. But you know, only thing I don't really fuck with Kanye for is messing with Kim Kardashian. I don't know like why he decided to, you know, leave his girl and start going with Kim. But you know, you see how that worked out for his ass. And he kind of doubled down on it. I don't know. I don't know why black men don't want to date black girls, but maybe I do. But I feel like it's like a weakness thing. Like I feel like if you gonna pick somebody that's not gonna be black for real, for the simple fact of you don't like how black girls act, then you shouldn't be dating nobody. Because I be feeling like black girls is like the realest girls out there. And even if you was to date like a white girl or whatever kind of girl you want to say, I feel like she would probably have the same feelings or whatever. She just might not express them now or as openly. You feel me? You feel me? But you know, I feel like it's the same shit with everybody. Like you shouldn't just, all right, I'm about to date white girls because they're easier. Like I don't think that's true. You know what I'm saying? All right. But let's talk in more video. You hear me?
Story of Kanye West and Virgil Abloh was set to go on forever. These two friends that pretty much grew up together and took over the fashion world in 2016. They were both set to go on that pretty much. The story of Kanye West and Virgil Abloh was set to go on forever. These two friends that pretty much grew up together and took over the fashion world in 2016. They were both set to go on to be one of the greats. But what a lot of people don't know is that Virgil Abloh actually stole Kanye West's dream job. Until this day, in 2025, Kanye West has still never forgave Virgil Abloh for doing this. Let me explain.
Imagine.
What's up, guys? I told you, we're back. I'm back in full force, baby. I haven't posted in like 8 months, and now we're making the greatest comeback ever. And before we get into this, I just want to tell you guys, I love you. Louis Vuitton, one of the biggest fashion brands in the entire world. But let's start from the beginning. So Virgil Abloh was born right outside of the big city of Chicago. He described himself as one of them kids that grew up in the 90s that was obsessed with sports just like everybody else, but also had this grungy side of skateboarding and graffiti. And later on, this skateboarding culture actually evolved into his passion for fashion and design. See, from an early age, he saw skateboarding as not just like a hobby, it was also a lifestyle and an art. And remember that, because that's important. And then later on the design side, him and his friends actually used to create sketches of Nike shoes and send them to Nike in hopes that they would pick up and use one of their designs, and which of course they never replied. But this is some of the craziest foreshadowing ever, as Virgil Abloh then went on to make some of the most sought after sneakers that Nike has ever released. When Virgil Abloh started to get a little bit older, he took classes in Wisconsin in college to become an architect actually. And he did this just to please his parents. He stated this was not really what he wanted to do, but he felt like since his parents were immigrants and came over here that he owed it to them that he had to go and do this because it's what they wanted and they worked.
I got a story telling that's similar to that too, but you know, whatever you want to do in life, try to focus on just doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like, all right, I'm not Mr. Beast or whatever to be trying to tell you what to do, but you shouldn't try to do stuff to appease anybody or whatever, because it's not gonna work out for you in the
so hard to get over here. So he went on to get his master's degree in architecture. But during this architecture stuff is when he learned how to use the programs to make t-shirts and clothing and stuff like that. And after getting this degree, he wanted to make some clothing that resembled the streetwear skate culture that he used to grow up in. So he made some designs and sent them to a screen printing company, a little tiny t-shirt shop in Chicago. And the owner of the shop said that the files were so perfect that all he had to do was just click print, and that his t-shirts were all proportioned out perfectly due to his knowledge of the software. It was so good that on the spot, the owner actually gave him a job there. So Virgil started working on some of his first clothing designs while also working at this print shop. And while messing around with his own designs, there was a manager that came in one day. He said that he was a manager for an up-and-coming rapper and he needed some help on some tour merchandise. And that manager ended up being Don C, and this up-and-coming rapper was Kanye West. But you have to remember, this was in 2006 before everybody knew who Kanye West was. So Virgil and Kanye began hitting it off, and they began working together on this whole concert merchandise. And Virgil's talked about in certain interviews that him and Kanye connected over them just being creative together. And with Virgil Abloh's architect design, he actually convinced Kanye to help him work on the sets of some of his concerts. Basically, Virgil helped set the entire vibe and the atmosphere during these concerts. And this is where we saw some of the...
Yeah, copy.
Hey, you're good to go, man. Just leave the radio back there and come out through the front. You can take off.
Alright, cool. Shit, y'all. I'm gonna just try to... Let's see what the...
crazy
let's try to
sets
skip
like the
through this video
Yeezus tour
quick,
that
you know
had
what
the
I'm
big
saying?
cliffs
I'm
and the
gonna get up outta
crazy
here.
masks, and all that was inspired heavily by Virgil Abloh. And Virgil also
Yeah, we
helped
know.
make
You
cover
know,
art
did
for
it. Virgil did it all. So
There's
now
plenty
what's
of
up?
fashion shows, but Virgil Abloh was never known for being his own person. He was known for helping Kanye. And around 2009, Kanye West was obsessed with Louis Vuitton. He collected Louis Vuitton, and he always saw Louis as being one of the top, most prestigious fashion brands. And he actually ended up getting in contact with Louis Vuitton and dropped his own sneaker with Louis Vuitton in 2009, while also working on a sneaker with Nike, and dropped in the same year the Air Yeezy 1. Which is crazy that Kanye West dropped a Louis Vuitton sneaker and a Nike sneaker in the same year, and Virgil Abloh was a big help with all this. And then Kanye dropped the Nike Air Yeezy 2, which was super iconic. Everybody knows the Red Octobers. But after this, Kanye was fed up because he didn't get royalties for his work, meaning that he didn't really get commission off of selling his own sneakers. So he was of course mad and ended up dropping his own contract with Nike, which is insane. Usually it's the other way around, but Kanye was just fed up. He wasn't getting paid enough, so he stopped working with it. And he of course went to Adidas, where Adidas offered him royalties. And this was one of the craziest things ever, because at the time nobody was wearing Adidas. It was all about Nike and Jordans. So Kanye made this huge leap to Adidas, and everybody thought he was crazy for it, and it ended up paying off.
Why he acting like I didn't live through this? Come on, let's go to the... Let's get to the part where Ye was mad. We know what happened. What's going on? Why is Ye mad?
And this became his signature. And Nike began giving him more and more and more collabs. And this was only making Virgil Abloh and Off-White just take over the world. Like, this made him the biggest brand ever. And Virgil was known as one of the biggest names ever at this time. And Kanye was very frustrated about this, regardless of Virgil being one of his best friends. And he said that Nike just began to scramble ever since he left for Adidas, and that them going after his design...
Now, I skipped the hella shit, but that shit is weird. Personally, to me, like, and let's say I'm Kanye. Damn near one of my best friends. We've been working together since I've been coming up. I would put this nigga on. He wouldn't even be on the scene if it wasn't for me. Signs to fucking Nike, bitch. After I just fucking dropped them niggas. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you just sign to somebody else? Like, nigga, like, why the fuck would you go and give basically all my goddamn... Not gonna say, like, my ideas. Like, maybe Virgil made all his ideas, whatever it is. But I'm just saying, like, nigga, your ideas, your life is influenced by me. Like, there is no Virgil without Kanye. And the fact that Nike would give Virgil the deal, but not Kanye his money, when Kanye made a storm when he was with Nike, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful, and I can see why Kanye would be mad.
Was where they crossed the line, but he also said that Virgil has a family and he has money to make and mouths to feed, so he understood kind of why Virgil took this opportunity. And after the huge success of the Adidas Yeezys, a lot of people don't know that in 2017 Kanye was in talks with Louis Vuitton. Apparently, according to Kanye, he had met multiple times with the CEO, and they actually agreed on a verbal contract with a handshake. Now, none of this stuff was in writing or paperwork, but they both had a verbal agreement that they were going to be working together in the next 3 months. And to promote this, Kanye started...
And where Kanye messed up is Kanye should have made his own brand, because if Kanye would have listened to Sway, when he was like, you don't know the answers, Sway. You don't know the answers. Everything that Kanye did, like, he was like, oh, I'm about to work with Gap and all this other kind of shit. That shit didn't work out. You thought you was going to work with Adidas, Nike. That shit didn't work out. If you would have, back in 2000, whatever that shit was, and you would have started your own brand, it would have been a weaker brand, but now in the future where everybody got their own brand, everybody got their own merch and shit like that, you would have been solid. And you could have still went into the major stores. You could have still did collabs. But you could have still had your own branded shoe, signed Virgil to your shit. Y'all would have been green. Y'all could have made Off-Whites for yourself. You could have had Off-Whites under Kanye name. With all the Yeezys and all that. Like, we got Off-Whites and we got Yeezys. Like, come on, you should have did that shit. And I get it for money, but it's just like, fuck money at some point in time, bro. The culture, cut. The culture. But I guess, I don't know, bro. Like, I'm not up there. I can't say a lot. But I know he do regret not investing in himself and investing in all these other people because they took advantage of him, obviously. And he's mad about it.
Performing at their museum. And then, after 2 months of silence, it comes out. Louis Vuitton admits Virgil Abloh as their new creative director. This was all over the news, and this was anything that anybody could talk about. Virgil Abloh, that grew up doing graffiti and skateboarding, is now the head designer at Louis Vuitton. Not only that, he was the first black creative director of Louis Vuitton as well. And a lot of people were super mad about this because they saw Louis Vuitton as a prestigious brand. And Virgil bringing his streetwear aesthetic into this brand, fashion blogs were super upset because they felt like Louis Vuitton would never be the same again. But do you know who was even more upset? Kanye West. This pretty much drove Kanye into insanity. And this is also when we began to see Kanye pretty much lose his mind and go off the walls on social media. Kanye felt betrayed because, again, instead of choosing Kanye, they chose his apprentice, which Kanye fully believed that he made Virgil Abloh, which he definitely did help popularize Pyrex vision back in the day. Kanye began wearing Virgil's Pyrex shirts while he went on tour and performed, and it gained popularity very quickly. Kanye began wearing a lot of Off-White and letting Virgil use all of his connections to blow up his brand. Now, I'm not discrediting Virgil for any of his work, but Kanye felt betrayed once again, but this time on the biggest scale with social media. Into a bad image for the brand if Kanye lashes out on social media or whatever. But others say it was truly meant for Virgil Abloh. But Kanye was crushed. And Kanye spoke about this as well. He was very upset because he was the Louis Vuitton Don. He was the guy, the first rapper back in the day to get a Louis Vuitton collab. Like, I don't think you guys understand how big that is. Like, rappers weren't doing collabs with Louis Vuitton and Gucci and stuff like that back in the day. Now it's a little bit more normal to see like rappers or celebrities do collabs with these big brands, like Pharrell with Louis Vuitton or like Nigo, stuff like that. But back in the day, these designer brands were known as like the best, like the pinnacle, top best of the best, like bougie. Like, they weren't collabing with rappers that said cuss words and rapped about violence. And Virgil actually invited Kanye West to the runway where he was announced the creative director. This was one of the most iconic things ever. The rainbow runway with Virgil Abloh come walking down and they're both crying. He comes up and he hugs Kanye West. But Kanye didn't want to go, but he felt like he had to go. And shortly after this, Kanye actually got admitted into the hospitals because he was going crazy. And then Virgil Abloh unfortunately passes away, rest in peace. And literally as of like a week or two ago, Kanye is still talking bad about Virgil on social media. He's called him out in multiple different interviews, and he still talks bad about this because he still cannot forgive Virgil for what he did with Nike and Louis Vuitton. But don't let this take away from Virgil's message, and that is to dream big. A person like Virgil Abloh should have never been in the position that he was, from being an architect and a graffiti skateboard kid. He's talked about that he never in a million years thought that he would have worked with Louis Vuitton and done stuff like Off-White and worked with Kanye West, but he made it happen, and his message is that anybody can do it with the right perseverance. Ooh. That's pretty much it for the video. That was a lot, I know, but I love making videos like these for you guys. And I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos recently. I
don't know, man. Like, as far as that shit go, who's right, who's wrong? I don't know. I mean, if I was Kanye, I would be hot. If I was Virgil and Nike came to me and Kanye my boy and I know, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what kind of nigga Virgil is. Me, personally, if it was my boy, like, my boy put me on. Like, if it wasn't from my boy, Louis Vuitton wouldn't be talking to me. If it wasn't from my boy, Nike wouldn't be talking to me. And Louis Vuitton and Nike, you know, my boy been trying to get at their door. It's like, all right, like, let's say it's a bad bitch. Let's say it's a bad bitch and the homie been wanting to fuck with her for the longest. She bad. And he fuck with her. He fuck with one of these bad bitches or whatever, because it's more than one bad bitch. One, Louis Vuitton's a bad bitch. Nike's a bad bitch. All right, let's say he fucked with the bitch Nike or whatever, and she did him dirty. You know, she did him dirty. She took advantage of him and his kindness, so fuck it. That's fucked up. So he's like, fuck Nike, I'm going to drop her. I'm going to still try to get with Louis, though. You know, me being around all the time, I'm like, yeah, bro, you gon' fuck Nike, bro. It's cool. Shit, you gonna get that Louis, though. You gonna get Louis. She bad, you gonna get her. Like, you gonna get her. Then Louis come to me, like, late night, after the homie just told me he was talking to Louis last night. You know, they had a little time or whatever. They didn't do too much, but, you know, they had a little time. And Louis said, ain't gonna lie, like, I know, like, you friends with Ye and all that, but I want you to choose up. I want you to fuck with me. Like, I want to fuck with you. Like, I want us to be the thing. I see us together type shit. I'm like, damn, like, you is good looking. I ain't gonna lie, but that's gonna low key fuck up my relationship with Ye, because I know he fucks with you hard, and I know you know that too. But shit, I don't know. I have to get back to you on that one. But like, damn. But like, this bad bitch is like one of the baddest bitches in the world. Like, if Beyonce said, "Hey, I'm trying to get with you," I don't know if the homie would do me the same solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know. So I don't know. You know. But my whole thing though, like, I feel like all this could have been avoided. You know, at that point, like, once she knocking on your door, it's hard to say no. And not everybody huffing the same cloth. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it is what it is. So, you let me know how about you feel about it in the comments or whatever. I'll be back at you with another motherfucking video later. See you, my boys.